Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the weekly Twinstrology forecast for the week ahead. We're going to talk about the energies coming in. Today on Monday, I feel is a really big day for the Twin Flame Collective. We do have Mercury sextile Jupiter. Jupiter's gonna be in the 12th house of Aries, so this is a lot of self-energy, self-identity energy. We also have Mars joining Jupiter in the 12th house, along with Uranus, the North Node, and Chiron. So a lot of expansion in the energies, and Mercury's going to be in the first house in Taurus. So I feel a lot of grounded action when it comes to this internal expansion. Tomorrow, we have the summer solstice gateway. So these energies have been intensifying. The sun is going to enter into Cancer season. So happy birthday to all of my Cancer collective out there. And it is going to be the summer solstice. It's going to be the longest day of the year, and Cancer will be entering it will be entering into Cancer season. The sun will be in the first house in Gemini at 19 degrees 38. And so also during the summer solstice, we have Venus trine Pluto. So this is like this death to the old, birth to the new. I feel a lot of instant Kundalini activations with Venus trine Pluto. I also feel it's going to be very easy for the masculine to release the karmic feminine in that energy. And then on Wednesday, we do have Venus entering into Gemini, the sign of the twins. And so I feel get ready for a major reality check in the energies this weekend is what I'm feeling. It's that revision time, integration time, purification, and cleansing. So I think love is going to go deep. And I feel Cancer season is going to bring forward a month when it comes to focusing on emotions and feeling like we belong somewhere. So a brand new week of cosmic energies, guys. And I feel it's kind of like this all or nothing, this supreme choice. It's kind of like decision time, especially with these doors opening with the solstice gateway. So are you ready to walk through the doorway of a new experience? I know I am. And so it's this wide open energy, I feel, and we're at the peak when it comes to manifesting these exceptionally powerful unions. We have an intense flow of incoming light codes. A lot of higher crystalline energies are coming in, and we're grounding them and we're integrating them. And I feel this is the week where many of us are going to feel this newfound sense of invigoration. We're going to be inspired. I feel many have already been having these higher transcendent spiritual experiences, and we've really been connecting with our twin flame on the spiritual planes. I know a lot of activity in dream space, constant all week. My counterpart has been coming through in dream space. So get ready to, experience a miracle when it comes to manifesting this physical connection. And so if you're not quite clear on where you need to go, you'll likely still have some baggage below the surface that needs to be worked through, that needs to be released. And this could even be toxins or any negativity that we've absorbed from others. And so if it's feeling pretty tough, I think there's a lot of karma that's resolving. And so it can be very challenging for many because of this reason, because of all of this karma kind of being activated and cleared in the energies. And so it's always best to work through these influx energies when it comes to these light codes by clearing what the energy is telling you kind of needs to be purged. So don't resist. Receive this higher potential and step into this new high vibrational energy, knowing that you are enough. So I think the veils are being lifted. We're all being supported for this physical reunion to go deeper into this spiritual togetherness, this spiritual bond. And so those who have already worked through their karma consciously, I think we're kind of entering into this beautiful, blissful state of love, openness, forgiveness, and unity consciousness. Whether we're physically together or not, there is this union energy coming forward. And so I think we're all needing to ask ourselves, is there any fear left when it comes to that face-to-face? Is there any fear of not ending up together or missing out on this person or not being good enough? So if those questions are arising or those thoughts are arising, then there's likely this underlying anger still, or resentment, or feelings of hostility, whether it's towards your counterpart or any third party involvement when it comes to karmic outsiders. So I think we're all being asked to resolve these issues now. And so for my own journey, about a week ago, I got the roof done, and one of the workers that was repairing and doing the roof was actually connected to my divine counterpart. At the time when I met my twin and we dated several years ago, this was my divine counterpart's best friend. And so it did feel like a zeroing out of the karma. There was no resentment, there was no feelings of hostility towards that entire social circle. So it felt like this zeroed out energy when it comes to all of these karmic outsider attachments. So if there is any resentment or anger or bitterness, unfortunately, that's an indication that there's still some more internal work to do, because that's exactly why the counterpart hasn't showed up yet, because of these underlying blocks. And so when we shift internally and we open up to unity, then we can quickly manifest these 3D physical unions. And so we're all being encouraged in the energies this week to work through any issues now so we can fully step into these higher states. And the truth is, a miracle can happen in any given moment, any given day, but you have to be aligned with this high frequency vibration that we carry. And so unity is all about manifesting our own unique heaven on earth. And so we all have a choice to embrace this energy, to step into alignment, and to step into pure intentions every single day. And that's when all of this can be delivered outside of ourselves. And so with Mercury sextile Jupiter, I think this transit really is favoring a lot of thinking about planning for the future, long-term planning for the future. They're showing me the 3 of Wands. And so this is where we tap into this broad outlook. Decision-making skills are going to be honing in on, because we're going to be able to clearly visualize our preferred path moving forward. And so a lot of positive thinking is associated with Mercury sextile Jupiter. And so this really is the ideal moment when it comes to this inner expansion. And with Jupiter transiting the 12th house, we're all going to be inclined to want to maybe spend a little bit of time in solitude to think about how we can selflessly help others within the community, within our lives. And I think we're all learning a lot about our subconscious mind. And so this really is a day of quiet introspection, a lot of solitude, a lot of isolation. And so with Jupiter transiting the 12th house as well, this is indicating this deep desire to want to expand spiritually, to find that meaning in life. And so I feel during the energies with this transit, many of the masculines are going to want to do a little research, maybe start reading some books about religion, about the divine, a lot of praying, a lot of meditating. Meditation is going to be extremely helpful for a multitude of reasons. Meditation is how we connect with the divine. It's how we retreat from the busyness of the world. And true meditation is what we need to do in order to make our dreams come true. And so meditation or retreating is really going to be beneficial while this transit is taking place, because this is how we get to know our soul better. We get to know our soul and our true desires in solitude and silence. So I feel a lot of the masculines are really getting in touch with their subconscious easily in the energies, and it's going to be beneficial when it comes to the masculine embracing protection from all of these unpleasant experiences in the karmic contract. So it's like this guardian angel surrounding the masculine as he is encouraged to grow, to expand, and to learn more about himself and this connection. So I feel it's the perfect time for the masculine in the energies this week to fully surrender, let go, and release all of these subconscious fears in order to cultivate new beneficial beliefs and ideals moving forward. And so with Mars transiting the 12th house, and Mars is in Aries in its home sign at 19 degrees 22. So 19, huge number when it comes to the fall of the ego. It is a karmic debt number associated with narcissism, the ego, codependencies. And so mastering the lower ego is what I'm feeling, because 22 is a master number. And so a lot of the masculines are going to have this temporary sense of ineffectiveness. I also feel a lot of the masculines have become basically impotent within the karmic connections. There's no sexual drive. There's no desire towards that karmic attachment, especially if your masculine has their 12th house in Pisces. So I feel it's diffusing all of this redirection energy. I feel a lot of the masculines have lost their drive for life in these karmic contracts, which has led to frequent bouts of confusion as to what they are, who they are, what they're doing. And it is this judgment energy when it comes to the masculine's emotional state. I think the energy is making him question and revise everything. And this is going to give him the courage, I feel, to assert himself. And I think a lot of changing perspectives, a lot of the karmics have undermined the masculine when it comes to his course of action. And this consistency, I feel, when it comes to this negative circumstances, these negative circumstances has led the karmic to basically openly exploiting the masculine when it comes to trying to mislead him. So I do feel it's going to be a little bit of a frustrating time for the divine masculine. Nevertheless, I do also feel it's a very thoughtful, accountable time for the masculine to embrace a compassionate perspective when it comes to building that legacy for the future. And with Uranus in the 12th house, this is where the masculine, I feel, frees himself from all of these restrictive conditions and embraces higher states of consciousness, and releases whatever has been preventing him from acknowledging his true individuality. And so there's a lot of Saturn energy coming through, bringing forward all kinds of dramatic events, outward upheaval. That's what Uranus is here to do in order to free the masculine from what's been keeping him stuck. So it is like this reality check on the emotional level. There's going to be sudden changes of the heart under this transit today. And with Uranus and Saturn kind of working together, it's forming like this agent of change taking place. And so this freedom energy, in order to make the masculine aware that there is a different reality that he can step into, but he's going to have to loosen his grip of his ego perspective. And so there's going to be a lot of energies requiring the masculine to find his true sense of self, which has been weakened by the karmic contracts. And so in order for the masculine to reclaim his power, he's going to have to go into all of these conscious mind experiences and recognize all of this fragmentation for what it is. And so I feel a lot of these inner planets are working very closely together, creating this very disturbing energy surrounding the masculine. And we kind of have to let this run its course. And I feel a lot of the masculines are going to hit all kinds of roadblocks and challenges if they are still playing into any addictive substances like drugs or chemical sedatives or alcohol. And so that's really going to have a negative effect on the masculine's consciousness, because the North Node as well in the 12th house is all about spirituality. The 12th house is the house of spirituality. This is where we come undone. This is where we tap into healing, our religious beliefs, our psychic abilities. We do a lot of dream work in the 12th house. It is related to all things mystical and esoteric. So have a look where your 12th house is. Mine is in Aquarius. And so the North Node in the 12th house is teaching us all to open up our heart and to embrace the divine love. And so it's a very spiritual energy coming through. And those that are not on the spiritual path are going to feel this 12th house energy very negatively. It's like this relentless push, sending lessons the divine masculine's way until he finally learns them. So it's going to be challenge, obstacle, over and over and over again until he decides to open up to the divine feminine and his extremely empathic nature. And so the energy is encouraging the masculine to share his voice with the feminine. I feel this fiercely private energy when it comes to the masculine tapping into his special psychic abilities. A lot of these masculines have rejected the mission, have rejected this connection and their abilities, and they've denied them, which is leading to all of this frustration. And let's throw Chiron in the 12th house, guys, and that's going to throw even more difficulties towards the divine masculine in order to teach him the lesson of acceptance and to see the bigger picture. So I feel a lot of the masculines are feeling plagued at the moment, that this will never, ever end, but all it will simply take is acceptance. Acceptance of himself, acceptance of the divine feminine, acceptance of the karmic, and this acceptance to explore his own spirituality and to find a path that will truly suit him and to walk it courageously and bravely. And so compassion is going to be necessary, I feel, in the energies today, not only towards ourselves, but for others. And so with Mercury transiting in the first house, this is going to bring forward controversy, right? And so the possibility of disputes, a lot of harsh words being spoken in the karmic contracts, which will lead to loss. There's going to be increased bitterness when it comes to communication in those karmic contracts. And it's going to be like a power tripping energy. And so it will also like spark this increased curiosity of self-expression and communication. And so it's going to create like this competitiveness, I feel, too, when it comes to these unhealthy friendships or co-workers or romantic relationships. And so I feel a lot is going on, and the masculines are really going to want to ease his mental processing. And so a huge release of negativity from the past is what's taking place with Mercury sextile Jupiter. And Mercury in his home sign, I feel it's extra powerful energy, and joining Jupiter in Aries is kind of helping us all to be bold and to be brave and to aim for our dreams. And so if you're in this positive flow already, this is going to help you reach all of your desires. It's very intense manifesting energies, a lot of manifestation flow. So you're going to want to be very mindful of your thought processing, because the solstice is going to bring things in faster than usual. So you want to stay focused. You want to stay focused on your highest ideal. You're going to want to flow with ease because the energy is very rapid. It's speedy energy, like the quickening. So do not allow fear, worry, and heaviness to pull you out of alignment. Stay in alignment. So this means strong, firm boundaries this week, Divine Feminine. Mental boundaries, emotional boundaries, very much important this week, because if we are aligned and open, this is a time where we can have these major breakthroughs. We can have that forward motion suddenly, and things will begin to speed up within these connections, but emotions are going to be on high. We have the sun entering into Cancer on Tuesday. My divine masculine is a Cancer sun, and so we also have Venus connecting with Pluto. We're going to feel this all week. And so emotions are going to be strongly in focus. Venus right now is in Taurus, which is in its home sign for the divine feminine, the Empress energy, birthing. And then we're going to go into Gemini, which is all about duality. And so the energy can be quite intense, especially when it comes to love and Pluto involvement. And so emotions are going to be running very high, but it can be an amazing time if you're on good terms with your twin. And if there's recently been conflict and there's been no talking about the hurts and the wounds, I think get ready to face why you've been held back from making contact, where you're vulnerable and you're worried about further pain or rejection. And so what happens during the summer solstice? So let's talk about the solstice energy very quickly. So it's a point in time where our planet orbit reaches the point where the North Pole is at its most inclined towards the sun. And so it's exactly over the Tropic of Cancer when the solstice happens in that moment. So the sun goes farthest north in the sky around the solstice, and so the days leading up to it are the longest days of the year, the longest daylight of the year. And so the word solstice in Latin, in its original origin, derives from the word sol, meaning sun, or the word sistere, meaning to stand still. And so we're kind of being asked to stand still, but you're going to want to buckle up, guys, because this summer solstice is impacting us more than ever before, because the sun will be shifting into the 4th house. So the 4th house means it's kind of time to look inwards at your private life, your family life, your safety, and reflect on whether it's time or not for change on the home front. And so Cancer is all about the home, the mother. It's a very self-protective energy. It's all about our nest, our families, our homes, anything that makes us feel at home, safe and secure. Nurturing and caring for our loved ones is coming up. New projects might come into focus. Emotions run deep with Cancer. And so we're going to want to tune into our feelings, our inner world, and especially with the moon and Cancer going to be forming that conjunction on the new moon. And so many don't want to grow up and face responsibilities, but I feel this is where we're going to have to be forced to deal with any dependencies, any codependencies, because we're here to do better for ourselves. We're not here to keep playing into these robust connections. And so I think we're going to need to recognize our need for comfort and safety in a family structure, but to veer away from familiarity. Familiarity is usually a karmic lesson. And so this is the week where we are likely inclined to form those strong spiritual bonds with our counterpart. It is about protecting our loved ones as well in the energy. And so choices. The solstice is a time where we open up to these higher states to create our own heaven on earth, but we all have a choice. We all have free will. It's all about our approach, our choice, and what we are aligned with. So you're going to want to be conscious about what it is that you're focusing on for the week ahead. And you're going to want to remember that fear will create more opposition, and fear will never ever bring you unconditional love. So you have to choose to focus on unity. You have to choose to open up your heart to this connection. And you have to choose the path that will take you to your own personal heaven on earth. What reality do you want to create every single day? So we have a choice to release past anger, resentment and conflict, harm or misalignment. We have the choice to release anything not in the resonance of unity consciousness, but we have to be willing to let it all go. And you have to choose to start over with that clean slate without that baggage. So be ready to invite in what's for your highest good. Invite in love. Know that you are love, always and forever. And so there is this deep desire for safety and comfort, emotional stability. And so the more inward focused we become, the easier it is to tap into these high vibrations. And so people are going to be extra sensitive, I feel, in the energies. And so this can lead to a lot of hostile and difficult communication, either with your twin or a karmic connection. And so you're going to want to be kind with yourself, because love is about to go very, very deep this week. Our perspectives might be a little wonky, especially when it comes to fear of rejection. Many of the divine feminines feel this energy of the masculine pushing us away every time we extend that olive branch. A lot of these masculines choose to push us away because maybe they're overwhelmed with their job or their karmic connection, the state of the world. We don't want to make assumptions, and we certainly do not want to assume the worst. So we're all being asked to work on self-love, self-confidence, to know that we can be happy no matter what, whether we are with our counterpart or not. We can never ever give our power away to somebody else. Nobody has the power to decide if we can be happy or not. Happiness is a choice from the inside out. And so when we embrace being love, that is when we can have this connection be reborn. And so I do feel it is this energy of all or nothing. With Venus trine Pluto, it's going to deepen the energy of rebirthing these connections. I feel a lot of the masculines have been sifting through a lot of obsession and sexual passion towards the feminine, because if they come forward only for the sexual passion, I don't think that's going to work. It's going to be about grounded foundations. And so a lot of soul transformative love is coming up. I do feel a lot of intense Kundalini activations, and a lot of the masculines are going to feel that twin flame soul merge like the feminine did during the beginning of the connection. And so it's going to get really tricky, because Cancer can very easily spiral into negativity. Because it is such a touchy-feely energy. Cancer, you think of Cancer, they retreat into their shell. They can be very self-protective, but it is like this all-or-nothing attitude, and I think that's what scares the masculine, is this all or nothing. It has to be all or nothing, and so a lot of these masculines have not been in charge of their own lives, and I think it's going to bring forward all kinds of trivial arguments in the karmic contracts, down to like this outright war. And so this defensiveness is going to block the masculine from what it is he truly wants, I feel. And so I think the feminine just really needs to stay aware of our energy, stay in balance with our emotions, and don't allow yourself to block the masculine from coming forward. And so I know it's easier said than done. I know how hard it is to release the bitterness and the anger after all of the pain, but we have to release any energy of opposition if we want to step into these unions. And so with Venus trine Pluto, this is adding great depth and intensity to all of our feelings when it comes to what we love, what we're passionate about. And I feel, Pluto always has a dark side as well, because it deals with death, transformation, taboo, sex, and secrets. And so the influence that it's going to play on your own love life is going to depend on the close relationships that you're kind of connected with. And so this is also the opportunity for the twins to fall deeply in love again and to finally take this twin flame relationship seriously. And so I feel the possibility of new relationship foundations, honoring these deep feelings and these deep passionate feelings, this energy of entwined. And so it is possible that the masculine can step into devotion towards the feminine this week. But I feel any fear of rejection is a very painful wound that the masculine is going to have to face. And so this probing energy, the questioning of all of his relationship dynamics, and I think the masculine is even questioning what love itself means. And so this is going to lead to a lot of psychological evolution for the divine masculine collective, a lot of transformation when it comes to their entire life. And so this inner growth that we're going to be experiencing is going to bring all kinds of distance between the masculine and the karmic. The energies are separating. There's no more alignment there. And so a lot of controversies and scandals in order to get the masculine to break free. And so the masculine's not been getting his needs met in that contract, which is going to lead to this strong magnetic pull towards the feminine's sexual attractiveness at this time. And so intense is what I kept writing about. And so I feel the obsessions and the fascinations are needing to be released. I know the beginning stages, the feminine goes through the obsessions and all of these fascinations. Now the scales have kind of been reversed, the roles have been reversed, and I feel a lot of the masculines have been struggling financially. And so this really is a good time for the masculine to get busy with his creativity. And with Venus entering into Gemini, that's going to feel really good. I know for me, my Venus is in Gemini, so I'm looking forward to this. And when Venus enters into Gemini, it's also going to be in the 5th house of creativity of Taurus, birthing these energies. So Venus in the sign of the twins, I feel the only challenge is the inconsistency with Gemini energy. We can easily change our mind. And so I think we're about to have this major breakthrough. So we're not going to want to give up on what really matters to us. Don't play into, seeing something that's not really true. Maybe somebody's going to tell you something, or you're going to hear something that's not true that might create a temporary challenge. So we're going to want to stay focused, because rewards will be immense if we stay really focused, because this is a huge reality check, a huge time of integration, and we're going to want to use the energies and the time this week wisely by staying balanced, by staying in harmony, and by bringing this connection into a state of unity and unconditional love. But we have to stay in charge of our mind. We have to stay in charge of our mental perspective. And we're gonna, have to step into what motivates us. So variety is the spice of life is the motto of Gemini, I feel. And so Gemini energy is very sociable, very communicative, very charming, very interesting. And so a lot of the feminines, I think, are looking very animated, very fun right now. And although the masculine has kept us at a distance on an emotional level, the attraction is undeniable when it comes to gaining momentum. And so I think the shadow side of Gemini, it's going to bring forward fickleness. So we're really going to want to focus on love, because with Venus in the house of love, this is a great time to begin these new romantic cycles, to ground these 3D unions. And so we're done. We're banishing the boring, we're banishing the blah. And it's about ultimately making that supreme decision, that supreme choice. So we're all up leveling, I feel, in the energies this week, and the universe is always seeking to support us. So what are you being guided to release when it comes to these old realities, these old karmic beliefs, these old perceptions? What are you being pushed to purge in order to call in that match for your sacred destiny? And so we're all being shown we can manifest anything we want. We just have to choose to align with it, and we have to go into our inner state, and we have to clear all of these blockages when it comes to what's been dwelling below the surface, preventing us from this supreme love. And so get ready to make a choice, because once we make a decision, there's no turning back. So I think, are you ready to go there? Are you ready to go there, Divine Feminine? Because when we choose love with every fiber of our being, we can have that reflected in our physical reality right now. So let's jump in with some cards, guys. Oh my God, my desk is absolutely a freaking mess. I've been making jewelry all weekend, so I'm gonna throw the laptop on the floor. I got my jewelry supplies over there. So yeah, let's jump in with some cards. I think we are going to start off with the Illumination Oracle deck. Yeah, huge relationship paradigm shifts in the energies this week. These karmic lessons are coming full circle. I feel the masculine's working through this painful lesson, resolving this past life connection. And he's stepping into truth and growth. And there's going to be a huge paradigm shift, without a doubt, because the masculine is learning a lesson about self-empowerment, taking ownership of the journey, executing his highest potential, and taking that leap towards the feminine is kind of what I'm feeling. So we're going to see what needs to come through on the divine masculines end first. So teacher, he's definitely involved in a situationship that is teaching him a very valuable lesson. And I don't even think the karmic realizes that they're like a teacher for the masculine, but I do feel he is definitely receiving all kinds of messages from spirit, from the spiritual realms, from the spiritual team, trying to guide him out of that very tough, stagnant situation, to have that higher outlook. And so he is deepening his relationship to himself at the moment, going through a massive purification and spiritual cleansing. And so stepping into that leadership position as well, I feel. So he's learning what he needs to do to bring love back into his life. I also feel he's finally listening to his guides and the messages that are coming through, listening to what the feminine has to say when it comes to breaking free from this very tough situation. And so a lot of integration taking place when it comes to this soul connection this week is what I'm feeling. And I do feel, get ready to receive an incoming message from your masculine, because he is being encouraged to take that leap of faith as the feminine integrates her purpose at this time. This is where the masculine chooses to journey towards her, because there is a divine plan at work, and there's definitely recently been an unfoldment of karma for this higher perspective. So we're going to see what comes through for the feminine. Beautiful dreams. Yes, my divine counterpart has definitely been coming through in dream space, so that's likely to trigger any underlying unforgiveness, bitterness, or resentment or anger towards your counterpart when it comes to those patterns. And I do feel many of the feminines are living consciously, embracing their spiritual path. And so we're all being encouraged to make those choices that will, better our lives. And so forgiveness on the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. So we did get recovery, seeker, and journey to fulfillment. So If you are in a karmic connection, divine feminine, some of us are, not all of us are. Many of us have been in solitude for several years. It all depends on the timeline that you're on. We're all on different waves. And so if you are a divine feminine in a false contract, I do think get ready to experience major upheaval in the energies this week. Get ready to be triggered when it comes to your spiritual path, because this is the pivot point where we take charge of our destiny. And so you might be put to the test this week, divine feminine, but ultimately it is to get us to completely embrace this energy of forgiveness. So where do you need to liberate your heart? Where do you need to step into forgiveness? Because the masculine sees you. He sees that light shining brightly. The feminine's lighthouse shining the light. And he does see that this is a loyal connection, but we kind of got to get rid of the icy coldness, the block of the ghosting between the counterparts is what I'm feeling. And so a lot of illumination is happening in the energies this week for both of the counterparts. So we're really going to need to trust. We're going to go further into the Divine Masculine, please, with the Illumination Oracle deck. Rejection is a big thing coming up. Rejection. Fear of rejection is what's really coming up. But I do feel, you know, Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury rules short distance travel. Jupiter rules long distance travel. So depending on where you are at, some counterparts are across the world. So your counterpart might be preparing to buy a plane ticket and travel to see you, but there's recently been a rejection and ending in that karmic contract, which has really triggered these self-worth issues, these inadequacy issues. I feel that rejection of the friends, the family, the karmic, and he's finally reading between the lines and preparing to journey towards healing this heart. Yeah, world distance travel. So travel, whether it's short distance travel or long distance travel, the masculine knows it's time to come forward and fix what's broken, balance out this very imbalanced situation, and come forward for that revival, that renewal. So beautiful, beautiful. What needs to come through on the feminine side, please? Withholding. So I think you're going to want to go into understanding why you're withholding compassion. I know a lot of the feminines become very bitter and cold because of the hurt. And I also feel, yeah, there's a need to release this withholding. It might not even hurt to extend an offer to your counterpart. Always do what you are divinely guided to do with your own internal compass. That is your choice and your choice alone. I'm not here to tell you what to do on the journey, but you're going to want to stop withholding love and compassion, because I do feel the masculine is preparing to send a message, especially if you have children. You might have children with your counterpart, or you might each have children separately with other people. But I do feel like this emotional storm brewing, and I do feel a lot of financial abundance is coming for the counterparts in the energies this week with all of that Jupiter energy. So an increase in finances, and you're going to want to make some plans when it comes to these increased finances. So let's grab some Rose Oracle messages, inner call. So we are hearing that inner call. We're all being asked to be guided and led by our inner soul, the inner mystic, to live consciously, to live courageously, and to embrace this shedding, to embrace this transformation, this death, this rebirth, this shedding, and these major changes. So a lot of inner child healing, that fertile void. I did channel into the Divine Masculine's energy this morning. I will put a tag at the end of this video if you didn't catch it, because I do feel a lot has recently shifted, and there is a lot of healing happening at this time. So the masculine needs to trust the process, and it's safe to soften up the heart a little bit is another message that I'm feeling here. As he embraces being led by the soul. So we're going to get 3 more cards, guys. They're not really talking too much for me today. So what do we got here? We are nature. So you're going to want to be grounded and embody this living connection to Mother Earth. and the sun. So illumination, vitality being restored, life force energy being restored, and the anointed. And so we're all being asked to answer this soul call to step into our leadership position and to empower the collective by using our soul gifts. So a lot of healing is taking place for both of the counterparts, the anointed, the crowning, and we're going to want to nourish ourselves. There's a lot of sacred purging, a lot of sacred waters when it comes to restoring our health, replenishing our vitalities. And I feel a lot of ancient power has recently been activated, and that scarlet letter, they want me to say scarlet letter. So the abandonment of the karmic energy is what I feel is taking place. So let's grab some tarot into the masculine. He's coming back for victory. Look at that. He's coming back. He walked away and now he's coming back. He wants victory with you, Divine Feminine. He's coming back, is what I'm feeling. Coming back from what he walked away from. So what else can you tell me about the Divine Masculine for the week ahead, please? To be honest with you guys, I was feeling very disconnected from my journey, from my counterpart. Last week, I didn't really channel into the energies. I didn't even do the twin astrology forecast because I was at this pivot point where I was like, I'm done with this journey. I have nothing left to give to this journey. And then the very next day on the Monday when I got the roof done, I had my counterpart basically thrown back in my face with his friend that showed up to do the roof. And so there is no more working together in that third-party contract. The party's over. The masks have fallen off. And there is a karmic rebalancing when it comes to that unrequited love. And so all major arcana, really. So there's that 0 point, that reset. We got the moon, we got the chariot and the fool. So quickly coming in, not telling anybody, breaking free from these illusions, really going into the fear, getting his emotions in check. When, you know, and there's like all of this stress and anxiety, I feel. The masculine could have recently gone through upheaval when it comes to a foundation, his security, where he lives. He might be homeless. He might have lost it all recently, financial ruin. And I feel the stress and the anxiety, the guilt is haunting the masculine when it comes to not bringing forward that apology as well. And so there was a lot of hidden motivations. I feel whatever was not just and right, it's being balanced out. He's not working with that third party energy. Interesting. So we got Cancer and Capricorn energy. And so Cancer is the mother. Capricorn is the father. And so a lot of the masculines wanted to, you know, they gave the karmic the benefit of the doubt time and time again, chance and chance again. And the mask, I think, has just recently been shattered. And there's no more love there. So let's take a look at this moon, because there was an illusion. Yeah, there was a lot of self-deception taking place with the masculine in that contract. And there's recently been upheaval with the feminine that does not know her worth and her value. So I do feel there's recently been an exposure of the manipulation of the karmic, like the Empress in reverse, the Six of Swords reverse in the Tower. She was refusing to move on. She was gripping to control because she didn't know her worth. She didn't know her value. There's definitely no fertility there. A lot of these karmics, I do feel, try to trap the masculine by getting pregnant, keeping the masculine stuck. So this could be like the loss of a pregnancy recently in the karmic contract. That's not going to be for everybody. But, you know, the karmic feminine emotionally, mentally manipulated, gaslit the masculine, did everything she could to feel like she needed him to be taken care of. And that has recently crumbled to the ground. No more working together, and I feel that new beginning is around the corner. So let's take a look at the Fool, victory. He's coming in for victory, Divine Feminine. He wants to heal this. He wants to heal this with you. He's coming in for his wishes. A lot of heart expansion taking place, especially when it comes to his humanitarian mission. This is what you both prayed for and asked for. So a lot of deep soul healing is taking place. And when it comes to the Chariot, yeah, he's moving on. He's done with the lies, the secrets. I also feel a lot of these karmics swindled a lot of money out of the masculine, but it's definitely over, the breakdown. of that committed partnership is over. There's no more working together because he's coming in for some big, big love with you, Divine Feminine. He wants that clean slate. He's coming in, and it might be a small offer, but he wants to heal this brokenness. He wants to heal this pain, and he's coming in very quickly is what I'm feeling. So get ready for an offer, a big cup of love, because this is going to happen very fast as well. So let's dig into your energy, Divine Feminine, the Lovers, the Seven of Pentacles. It's time. So you also may be presented with a choice, but this is a very divine connection. We're going to be presented either with our counterpart or a very high vibrational soul match where it will be equal giving and receiving, because it is time to plant those seeds for these foundations. This is the gateway where all of this healing is happening. And so I feel you don't want to keep your foot stuck in the wheel, Divine Feminine. It's really time to release any emotional baggage and to open up to showing your counterpart compassion. I also feel a lot of the feminines have stopped investing in this connection. And I feel almost like this energy of blocking, but there is going to be this newfound vitality as well, I feel, when it comes to the masculine bring forward this love offer. That's funny, the wheel came out up right now. So things are moving forward. There is new love in your life. So with the Eight of Pentacles reversed, I also feel a lot of the feminines recently have felt like this creative block, this blocked energy. I know I was feeling very creatively blocked. Just like this void, I don't even know how to describe it, like this emptiness. And so you might have been asked to withdraw from, working on something, but I do feel the masculine is coming in wanting to build that foundation and do the hard work for that new beginning on your end. So you're going to really want to open up your cup to the masculine. I also feel this transformation taking place on the feminine side. So yeah, so I also feel like that final healing when it comes to the heartbreak. I know a lot of the feminines have never felt pain so deep in their life. And I do feel shedding any residual pain on the heart when it comes to this past betrayal or pain is going to quickly bring in a new offer, a passionate new offer, pages. So it's going to come in very small. We're going to be testing the waters, but it's coming in like a tower. So I think get ready for some things to drastically leave your life as well this week. Anything that's been a block to building this new foundation, because it's kind of time to plant these seeds for the future. And I think we're healing this missed opportunity when it comes to the lies, the lack of reciprocity, and I feel coming into a place of acceptance. Like, yeah, this was a really big missed opportunity, and there's not really been talking or communication in quite some time. There's been a lack of an apology, and so we have the choice to manifest our happiness on earth, our heaven on earth, but it's going to require coming out of this lack mentality, this victim mentality. It's going to require coming out of ghosting. It's going to require a conversation about the lessons that have been learned, and it's going to require making a decision once and for all with the Lovers, Gemini energy. And so a big week ahead for the counterparts for sure. So we're going to get a couple romance angels, and then I'm going to pull a few twin flame oracle messages from my handmade deck, and then we will get a couple hidden truth messages from the divine masculine. And so this is a huge week of forgiving and learning. We got to release and heal the past so we can experience this unconditional love in the present moment. And so a huge week of forgiving and learning, guys. So forgiveness, compassion is definitely going to be needed. And I think we all need to know that it is safe for us to love. It is safe for us to open up our heart to this connection again, to give and receive the highest energy of all, because the masculine is going through that separation in that karmic contract. He knows time apart is needed. If it hasn't happened already, it's definitely on the horizon. because it was riddled with deception, is what I'm feeling. The retreat and deception landed on the separation. So he's definitely realized that the karmic was wearing a mask in that relationship, and he's disconnected from that connection. And likely from the friends that were trying to support him and help him to stay in this unrequited love situation. So there's no more chemistry there. There's no more attraction to keep that karmic relationship going. And so we are preparing for that reconciliation this week. So get ready for your counterpart to return from the past. And you're going to want to trust, because we're receiving all of these intense light code activation, and stillness and meditation is going to bring us the answers and the awareness that we need when it comes to the masculine, preparing to make that romantic gesture, likely around the new moon in Cancer. And so we're all deeply affected by these lunar cycles right now, and that new moon in Cancer is going to be at 7 degrees 22, which further breaks down to 29. So I feel we're in the precipice of these powerful transits when it comes to getting back into our passion. And so major shifts are coming. Divine Feminine, you're going to want to spend some time mastering your divine gifts to fully activate that soul song, to call the counterpart back, because all of these transits are supporting movement forward. So you might want to even get involved or get informed about astrology and these cosmic energies, and how you can utilize this pushing energy to support movement forward, because we're in this gateway of all of these major shifts, and your inner work is paying off, because Divine Feminine, you hold the key. You hold the blueprint for this reunion. So have you reached a place of unconditional love and acceptance, and understanding that there is always love between the two of us? And so I think that's what's really needed right now, is that energy of unconditional love. And I feel the disillusionment when it comes to this deeper meaning. So I feel it's still this energy of something is missing, and we're both kind of trying to figure out what it is, but we will see what unspoken truths the masculine would like to bring forward towards the feminine. He can no longer ignore the signs that he's receiving. And so there's a lot of guilt, I feel, when it comes to the masculine not doing right by you, that he's needing to kind of shed and release. And so and another big thing that I feel, yeah, that's where the masculine is at. Is it possible to forgive and forget? I guess you kind of got to ask yourself that same question, Divine Feminine. Is it possible to forgive and forget, to have that clean slate? Because we can't bring all of this baggage into the next cycle. Yes, we're going to have that conversation and talk about it, but if we're going to invite the masculine back, it has to be zeroed out. There can be no bitterness and resentment. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are asking themselves, like, how can you still love them after all that they have done to us? But the answer is nobody compares to you. And I think there's fear about, you know, handling your words. But, you know, they're coming to this deep understanding that, yes, they lied to you. Lying was easier than telling the truth. And I think, you know, right now it's about not taking what happened personally, understanding that this was the soul contracts that we agreed to in order to ascend these lessons and these contracts. And you know, I think at the core, it is always about unconditional love. And I know for myself, I absolutely still am crazy in love with my counterpart. In that 5D connection, there's something that bond that we share can never be tainted or broken. And so I feel this is a time where the masculine truly wants to come forward and be authentic and release those fears, because we are preparing to be together again. And let's face it, the separation we go through truly is life-changing for the both of us. But I feel the masculine is getting ready to make that romantic gesture. So do get ready for an offer or an invite, Divine Feminine. If you would like to book a personal or a twin soul reading with me, I do encourage you to check out that description box below, guys. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.